Hey everyone, and welcome to my craft room. My name's Julianne Richards and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in southern Tasmania. Today I'm recording the 3 little videos that go with my January class by mail. The class features the Floating and Fluttering art bundle, which is a lovely new bundle from... She says grabbing it off the shelf when she should have grabbed it before. A lovely new bundle from the current January to June mini catalogue, which we used to call the Occasions catalogue. Here is the stamp set here. It's got some really nice little butterflies which are actually in a little cluster of them there. They're all joined together on the stamp, so you don't have to stamp them individually. And also, as a bonus, you've also got the die where you can cut them out as a little cluster as well. And lots of little highlight stamps here, so you can add some dimension and colour as you go. Anyway, I'm doing the cards for my class today, and eventually I will release this video publicly as well, so you can see the sorts of things that I do for my classes by mail for my lovely customers. Anyway, so what I'll do is do one video per class for those who haven't watched these before, and you'll be able to do them, do one card, come back, then and start the next video. You don't have to scroll through to where you are. So bear with me. I'm just going to check that my volume's working. There you go, so that seems okay. Let's get started. So this is what I'll start with this card here first, which is a really nice little oval window card. This is what the kit will look like when you get it in the mail. Basically it's just with everything stamped and these die cut shapes here that you can stamp as you go. So anyway, let's have a little look at the finished article. There is the finished article, at least one of them there. So when it comes to colouring these little butterflies, you can use whatever colours you like. I've given some of the highlights in this card of the garden green behind there, and the purple posy behind there as well. So you can coordinate it with that to whatever colours you like. But everything you need to make that card will be in your little kit. And I've missed half of it over here. Here we go. So we'll put that aside, and here's what is in your kit. So you've got standard card base, 8 1/4 by 5 3/4, scored in the middle. Then you have a piece of Whisper White, which is about 1/4 inch smaller than your card base, so 5 1/2 by 3 7/8, and that has the oval taken out of it using our layering oval dies. And you have a lovely cute little piece of purple posy cardstock, which is 3 by 4 from memory, and I've popped that through the embossing folder. I think it's called Painted Accents, something like that. I'm sorry, I should remember that. It will be in your printed instructions anyway. It's one of the new ones as well from the January to June mini catalogue. I will actually get that and have a look, tell you what it is. Where is it? Here we go. Okay, so this is the embossing folder here. It's got some really, it's supposed to be like painted strokes of a paintbrush. So that's the impression that it's supposed to give you. And it's in the catalogue here, I'll show it at the back. It's the Painted Texture 3D embossing folder. So that's the one that I've popped that through to get that really nice sort of effect. Also in your kit you have, as I mentioned before, you have a die cut set of little piece of Whisper White that's been die cut with your butterflies. Or if you have bought the bundle from me, I will just give you extra cardstock. You won't actually get those die cuts, because it is, as much as I'd say, it is much easier to stamp first and then die cut, but that means you will need the die cuts at home. If you have just bought the stamp set, I will give you these already cut, and you can stamp on them separately. You will then have a little piece of granny apple green, as I mentioned, some really cute little embellishments there, and a sentiment box which has dropped on the ground. Oh dear, I might not do my videos today, and a sentiment box in Whisper White as well. So that's everything that you should have in your card kit, and some dimensionals also. Okay, so let's get this one. It's really quite simple, and if you follow your written instructions that you should have received as well, it is a very easy one to pop together. So the best thing that I actually suggest you do first of all is to actually line up your window panel, your little one that has its oval in it. Line it up on your card base where you would like it to be. Then grab a pencil, just a light pencil, and just mark top and bottom of the inside of that oval. And that, if you take that away, that will help you line up your embossed panel so that it lines up perfectly with your little oval hole. So you want to cover over those pencil marks with this embossed little layer here. Then grab your favourite glue or snail runner, whichever you'd like. I'm going to use snail, and just glue that down. Just like that. So as long as you've covered your pencil marks, you know that your window is going to be lined up nicely. So then, speaking of your window, you can bring that in and glue that down as well. So you might notice when you get your little window that it's actually closer to the top than it is to the bottom. The gap at the top is smaller, so the small gap actually, as I mentioned, goes towards the top, and the larger space goes to the bottom. There we are. So that one's, we're pretty much done there with the card base, so we'll pop that aside. So we're going to bring in your little die cuts or your extra cardstock, whichever I've provided you with. We're going to bring the stamp set out of the pack, out of the set. Now, the best way to do this, I found the other day when I was experimenting, was to actually, if you have a stamping platform like a Stamparatus or a Misty or something like that, to line up to use that to line up your stamped images. But if you don't, it's pretty easy to bring it all together. So I've got my black ink there. As you can see, this one's been inked a lot in black ink. Just ink that up. Line it up with your die cuts, and they're pretty easy to line up. They're they're not complicated shapes by any stretch. Pretty easy to get that all lined up, and I'm hoping that it's going to stamp clearly. There you go. So that one's worked really well. So so that's you've stamped that on there. As I say, if you've got the dies, then you really just need to stamp the extra paper that I've given you. Then we have our other little butterfly here, and this one you're actually going to need to stamp. This is actually this little guy here, just on the edge, just like that. So we're just going to stamp him just like that off the edge. So I might bring in a bit of scrap paper so I don't get my mat dirty. Oh, I've just cleaned up my craft room. I don't have any scrap paper. Here we go, this will do. Usually got it all over the place. So just stamp up the edge of your stamp set and just there like that onto the white. There we go. So he's stamped as well. So you just need him. You will actually use him just at the top of the card. Okay, so now as I mentioned, you can basically colour the the way you would like. If you've got blends or markers or you know, pencils, whatever your favourites are. I'm actually going to use the inks that I've suggested with this class. They are Highland Heather, Flirty Flamingo, if I can find it, there it is, Flirty Flamingo, and Granny Apple Green, which is over here, excuse me. So there we are. These are the three colours I've suggested you use with this course, this class. And we've got the little inset stamps here that we can use. So I'll just block those up. There we go. So there's a little wing there for our little sideways guy, the little one that's fluttering in from the side. We've got our main big butterfly there, and a little one here, which he just needs a little block. Here we are, and then we've got some leaves and things, but I'm running out of small blocks, so we'll bring those in a second. Okay, so we're going to go Highland Heather for the main butterfly. There goes my dog barking. It's not even dinner time yet. And we're just easy enough just to line that up with our butterfly and stamp it in. So there we are, that's him done. I'm also going to use the purple, the Highland Heather on this little one that's coming in sideways. And in a later video I will show you how to use the detail stamps inside as well, so you could use those for this as well, but I'm just sort of keeping it a little bit simple for this first video. So that's our Highland Heather done. Then our Flirty Flamingo. I'll just clean this one off. I'm going to have this little one here who's the same, you know, flying in from the side butterfly. I'm going to put him in Flirty Flamingo. Just like that, and it's so easy. Isn't that just so easy? You line it up, you stamp it, and it's coloured in. And then our other little butterfly down here on the bottom, I'm going to make him Granny Apple Green. There we are. Now if you think those colours are too bright, you can stamp them off once and make them the tone lighter, which is something I'll do for a later one as well. We want to keep our Granny Apple Green because I'm going to stamp our little leaves. We've got the little 3 leaves here, and that just fits perfectly on that one and on that one. That's that. And a little spray of leaves to go. And this one, I might actually make it a little bit lighter. I'll ink up once, stamp off, and then stamp on, just to give it a little bit of different shade to our other images. Okay, so that's that one. So that's the colouring in of that. So we're really very, very nearly finished here. Put those aside. There we go. So we'll bring in our card base again. So with the dimensionals that I've given you, just pop those on the back of your butterflies and the leaves. On the back of this little guy as well. Take our backings off. And we'll just pop that one just down here on the bottom left hand corner of your card, just like that. And then your little sideways guy, little on his own, is going to be fluttering in from the top, like that. Now we need to grab our sentiment. Now there are no sentiments with this particular stamp set, so you need to pick one of your favourite stamp sets. I think I mentioned in the written instructions that if you're doing this course you would have received. I've used the Peaceful Moments, which I'll just grab. But you could use, you know, any sentiment that you like that's you know, that fits, or even cut yourself some different sized sentiment boxes and use those. Perfectly fine. Okay, so we'll move that out of the way. Got this one here, which is the one I've used, is Life is Better with a Friend Like You. And if you're one of my customers, I sort of mean that about all my customers really. I really do appreciate all of you. Just stamp that on our Whisper White panel like that. Then bring in some glue or your snail adhesive again and just pop a line of it along the bottom of that and position it. Got a dimensional tag. Position it so that you've got a little bit of border showing sort of along the bottom and about halfway up on the sides. So I'll bring that a little bit closer to the camera so you can see. So just partially, you know, covers the back of it, just for a little bit of something a little bit different. Okay, so now we've done that, we can bring in what's left of our dimensionals and we can mount that up. Now I haven't stamped inside, it's entirely up to you if you want to leave it blank or you want to bring in, as I say again, your favourite sentiment to put an inside in. You could pop some of the images in as well. So I'm just going to put that just across the middle like that. And that's done. Okay, so we'll bring in our little embellishments. So you should have 3 per card. So if you've bought a normal size kit, you'll have 6 because I give you everything you need to make 2 sets of each of the cards. So we'll bring in our, take your pick tool and we'll pop these around. Oh, come on you. So it's up to you entirely where you pop them, of course. I'm going to hug them around the edge of my little oval, just like that. Okay, so that is the first card done and dusted. Well done. As I say, hopefully that will help you visualise what I've tried to explain to you in the videos. Just to double, sometimes people cope better when they see something rather than read it, so hopefully that's helped you visualise how to get this one together, number 1. So I'll have a bit of a clean up, I'll get organised and I'll come back with video number 2.